Hey everybody, Charlie902 here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We last left off, we finally convinced Jenny to let us represent her, and we come to the realization that Susato is leaving tomorrow. We've made it back to our room. Let's continue the story. Naruhodo-san. It's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted. What about you, Susato-san? Today has been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes. Was shot before our eyes. Gina was arrested. All in the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task? Is there anything to examine? I think everything should... Oh my goodness, everything needs to be re-examined? Alright, let's start with a shovel and see what they say. What's the matter with me? Why am I examining things at a time like this? This is my last chance to talk to Susato-san before she leaves. Okay, that's what that's about. Okay, let's talk to her. Converse. Going back to Japan. It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Susato-san. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something. And what would that be? It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities. Facets? And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live. It's so true. Very poignant, Ryu. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much, but I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together. So, okay, that's never going to happen. You would have to reach omniscience for that. But, you know, you keep being you there, Ryu, and striving towards that goal. Naruhodo-san. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark. It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much. Uh-oh. You flirting? Sorry, I've what? Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant. Yeah, she threw a little flirt our way. Tomorrow's departure. Do you know what time you will leave London in the morning? Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.? Okay, so she shouldn't even sleep tonight then. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station. Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible, even though, like me, I'm sure you'll find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. One final task. What is that final task? You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What do you mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. Oh, it's the journal. What is that? Some huge bundle of documents? It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. That will be useful. It seems to me that this case of Mr. Windybank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. Well, thank you. With everything else she's had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely, even though it's not technically evidence. Maybe it will just give me some insight as to where to look. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Aww. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. No, you have not. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. The McGilded case notes have been entered into the court record. Notes collated by Miss Husato about the McGilded case that we worked on 2 months ago. We don't have an option to look at them right now. Maybe now? Well, it's getting rather late. Yes, we do. We're going to look at them right in front of your face. Case summary. What, there's only 2 pages? Victim found deceased on the last scheduled omnibus of the day after a stab wound to the abdomen. Details of the victim, Mr. Mason Milverton, male, brickmaker, East End of London. Trial summary. Defendant, Magnus McGilded. Prosecution attorney, Lord Barak von Zykes. Defense attorney, Ryonosuke Naruhodo. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness's testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Is this literally all you got? It looked like a whole book. How will this help? Who knows, but let's keep going. Wow, I really felt like there would be more to that. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Susato-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Wait, there's something I need to say. Hiya! Why? What? What was that? A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown. Shutdown? Please, I implore you. Or is our vision getting blurry? If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. Dang, we did get shut down, huh? Dot, dot, dot. Susato-san. Truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. As represented by these dots. Even more dots. 17th of April. The small hours. St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Wait. How are we here in Sholmes' side of this if we are asleep? Rest assured I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. Who are you talking to? I bid you farewell and Godspeed. Oh, maybe he's talking to, yes, Susato. My dear madam. So he's put some things into place, have you? Okay. To be continued. Dun, dun, dun. I wonder what was put into place. Save your current progress? Sure. We're on 2. Let's put it on 3. Got it. Trial Part 1. Okay, that implies there's at least a Part 2. This has been a very long case already, and we're just now making it to the trial. When I woke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. 17th April, 9:32 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Why don't you tell us your side of it, Jenny? That would really help a lot. I feel like nobody speaks directly in this whole game. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today, despite you not telling me what happened. I'm sure we could do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress. Susato, or however you say it, I don't know. Ah, Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again. One day. Even so. But you, Gina. You only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. What, no appeals? Good morning, you two. Hey, and the cat, too. How are you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Bagahai. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Meow. Ah, Waggy. Great way to show your support, kitty. Let him have a nose around. What harm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Jenny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. I agree. That's usually my answer, too. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I thought she meant according to this trial. I couldn't give a monkey's, really. You were going to say ass, weren't you? If only all good news canceled out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines, too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. See? Tis, how do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Runo will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will? And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged Diver is a dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Today's paper has been entered into court record. This morning's paper, purchased by Iris Gina's case, features prominently. That is in the court record for a reason. We need to look at that as soon as we get a chance, i.e. now. Court record. Newspaper. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. We can look at this. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. How awful. For Ginny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver's Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps. Protects planet? Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. Yeah. Is this separate than this? No, it's not. Let's skip past this then. Okay, the picture is not separate. Let's look at the back if we can. Let's rotate it. Beep. There we go. There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry Mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice? Oh. Maybe that's the emergency they were talking about. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of the world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that? It's quite the question, isn't it? Come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Grexy running from pillar to post at the moment. The details of today's paper have been updated. This morning paper, which contains article about government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. Is there anything else? Does not appear so. Is there anything inside that we can look at? Does not appear so. All right, that's it. Let's go back. Let's continue on. Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. Bazooka. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, is all, about Sholmes. Did they fix him up all right? Yes. The operation was a great success. But Hurley still hasn't come around yet. Hey? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Well, clearly he was awake because we saw him in the little vignette. Oh, right. No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. We don't even know any details. We haven't talked to her and got her testimony. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Let's get in there. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Runo. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. Yeah, I actually believe she's innocent. If I learn anything from my great friend, it's that... It's that. I thought he was going to say some more. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. 17th April, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. And it's Van Zykes yet again. I gotta do the Alucard voice and hurt my throat some more. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I'm not gonna do the Alucard voice anymore, I'm sorry. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. I'll stop with the wild, scared eyes looking around. Lord Van Zykes, my lord, remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly. And here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are two types of persons I cannot abide. So he's here with an ulterior motive. Is it the judge that we're trying to find out? I don't know. He's here for some other reason than this case itself. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. I didn't even know you were standing there. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Why are they letting a 10-year-old in the courtroom, like here? Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I would have never defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. Woof. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands of the Far East. The Nipponese. Okay, so you're just straight racist. Okay. What? Did you really just say that? It means you now, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zykes' eyes. Is that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zykes. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Very dramatic, too. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Before we see these jurors, they may have already showed them, but I didn't look at them. How many of them are going to be repeat jurors? Like, there certainly has to be more than about 20 or 30 people in London, right? See, look, we've got... Are you kidding me? That guy all the way to the right is the Russian spy. We have the lady who was on the typewriter now has a telegraph. The old man is now a doctor. That looks like the hat guy with the weird glasses on. The maid is here again. And then the army dude is here again. I don't remember his name either. How do we keep ending up with the same small amount of people in this courtroom? Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendants? Yes, truly this is a farce. Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know, chaps like me, we're born ready. clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. So you're just a fanboy of stereoscopes. You may be a new one. I thought you were the hat dude, but you may be a new person. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Did you leave something in a body? Also, you're the old man we saw before. Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. What? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Yeah, you are 100% the spy. We saw you in the newspaper while we were floating over here. Something wrong, Runo? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. Yeah, no way. So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zykes. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Well, at least he didn't suffer. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory, so from below. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner that confirms instant death due to a single bullet wound from the back. There are no other signs of trauma. The crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. A photograph of the victim found murdered in the storeroom. It shows the single bullet wound in the man's back. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of establishment where the incident occurred. First, we're going to look at this court record. Anytime we get a chance to see something, we're going to look at it as soon as possible. Autopsy report. Dr. Stevens. Dr. Stevens. I bet the coroner is on the jury. How much y'all want to bet? Pop Windybank Mill, pawnbroker on Baker Street, time of death 1 to 1:30. Reporting party, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. That was us. Postmortem findings, single bullet wound in upper half of victim's back. No other visible signs of trauma. Instant death from a posterior anterior bullet wound to the heart. I hope I said that right. Postero anterior. That's how we say that. The bullet entered the body from the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Okay. Let's look at the picture. Anything we can really find here? Not that I can see. Is this a thing? I don't really see a point in the magnifying glass. Nothing new kind of comes up. Is anything in your pockets? No. Alright, we're going to go back. All right, let's look at the plan. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.